So today we're going to be taking a look at the Torras MagSafe Slim case for the iPhone 15 Pro Max. Now this case comes in two versions, the one with the kickstand and the one without the kickstand. I got the one with the camera ring kickstand, so we'll be checking that out. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and take a look at the box. Now on the front, you get your Torras logo right there, U Pro case, make your stand, and just this little design right there. And you get that same kind of design right here, but in black. And it does say you have your horizontal and vertical kickstand, the shock mat drop protection, and anti-scratch resistance. So let's go ahead and take a look at the box. Very simple, nothing too crazy on there. There's a little bit of information right there about Torras if you want to read that, but let's move on. So when you open it up at first, all you get inside the box is just this case right here, obviously with the little plastic protector on there, and you get a little card here that says, "Let's start a wonderful journey." And you can activate the warranty by scanning that right there, and just this little plastic. So let's go ahead and set that to the side. And I really like this little plastic sleeve that it comes in here, so right away you won't get fingerprints or anything as soon as you open the case up. But it does have a little bit of Torras branding right there, and just a little cutout so you can kind of see the color of it. So let's go ahead and take the case out, and let's step around the case. So on the back, you get this very nice, smooth material. So it is a plasticky case, but the back kind of has that almost like a silicone texture type feel. So it's definitely plastic, but it's smooth. It's a very smooth, not a rigidy plastic. And you can hear it's not really textured on the back of it. So that's that right there. Very nice texture. Now it is gonna pick up some of your fingerprints right there. So if you're somebody who doesn't like the fingerprints on the back of your case, that's something to note about this case right here. It is going to pick up a little bit of those fingerprints and maybe even your MagSafe ring after use for a little bit of time. Now on the back here, you do have your kickstand, and we'll get to that shortly, but let's take a look on the inside. Now on the inside, you do have your Mega Mag MagSafe magnet with the alignment magnet, and Torras is known for having really good magnets, so we'll be testing that out here, and a little bit of branding right there. Now I don't really see much branding anywhere else on the case, and I really like that a lot about these cases, that it just looks super sleek and minimal. I like that. So around the sides, you don't really get too much else. You just get the same plasticky material that's all the way around the rest of the phone. And you get a little bit of these like little kind of corners right there. If you can see, they're just a little bit recessed. So you get a tiny, tiny bit of shock absorption, but this isn't one of those super protective cases. This isn't for your drop protection, nothing like that. It's for, you know, little nicks and dings, scratches, stuff like that. But definitely I wouldn't recommend dropping this case, dropping your phone in this case, or, you know, anything like that, because it's not really going to protect it too much. Now, let's go ahead and take our black titanium 15 Pro Max and let's slap it in the case. So let's listen out for our click. Kind of an underwhelming click, and we're going to talk about that here, because if you guys can see, let's listen to how the corners sound first. Let's get each corner on there. Very kind of underwhelming clicks onto the corners. If you guys can see, it's actually really easy to pull these corners off, so you're not going to really get too much of a click, if you can see that, and on the fourth corner right there. And that's something that I want to start off with right away, and that's a pretty big dislike of mine. So if you guys can see, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to take my index finger and I'm going to push onto the camera, and you can almost see how easy it is just to get that off. And that's with 2 fingers worth of force. So if you drop this case, I'm a little bit afraid that it may come off, especially if for some reason it hits in a weird angle. This is super, super easy to come off. There's really no click onto the case, and that kind of bothers me, because I can sit here all day long and just move these corners around. And it's like that on each one of them, by the way. It's not just the one, it's all the corners. And then also talking about the fit, if you see each of the corners, now I'm using a screen protector, so that may affect it a little bit, but if you see, each of the corners is a little bit lifted off of the phone. And I'm not a big fan of that, because a lot of dust I've noticed gets in there. Now I know it's all black on black on black, so it's kind of hard to see, but if you see right there, there's gonna be a lot of dust that gets into those corners right there. And I don't like that, because I've noticed, you know, I was using this case for a couple days, and I pulled it off, and I see like all of this dust around the edge. Now I did clean my phone and the case off a little bit before shooting this video, but that is something that I want to note. I would really like for Torras to close these up right here, give us little clips or anything like that that will go onto the top of the case or whatever to click in, kind of like Banks or Pitaka, anything like that. I wish they would just have those corners that clicked on so you get a little bit of a more confident fit on there and a tighter fit. So if you do for some reason drop your phone, it's not going to just fly the phone out, which is kind of what I'm afraid of this one doing. So that is something to definitely note. Now, I'm not somebody who usually drops my phone too much, but that is definitely something to note. I would kind of be afraid to drop my phone in this case. Now, let's take a look at how this case fits just around the buttons and things like that. Let's give it, pull on it a little bit. And around the buttons, it's pretty good. But down here, it does have a little bit of give. It's not too much right there, but if you guys can see, it does have a little bit there. And it will have a tiny bit on the top, but you got to really kind of push that down with your finger. It's not just, I'm not just tapping my finger on it and it's moving. You got to really kind of give it a little bit of force. So that is something I did want to mention with this case. Pretty tight fit around everywhere except for those corners. So either way, let's go ahead and move around to the edges of the case. Now on the top edge, you do have a completely closed inside. On the left-hand side, you get your nice buttons on here, completely closed in. Very nice metal buttons. They're very clicky, which is something I really like about this case. Let's listen to those buttons real quick. Very nice, very clicky buttons. Much improved from last year. Last year, they just had like little divots almost on the button. They were just kind of a little bit raised and they had air slits in all of the buttons, but this year you get these nice metal buttons, which is really nice about that. And moving along to the bottom hand side, you do have your accurate microphone and speaker cutouts right there, as well as a nice wide open USB Type-C port, so all of your thicker head cables will be able to fit into there. And on the right hand side, it's completely closed in, as well as your power button right there. Now, let's take a look at the screen and camera protection. Now, again, I am using a tempered glass screen protector, so we can see there's not too much of a screen lip on there. Again, super minimal case. This isn't meant to, protect your phone from sitting it down, face down, or anything like that. This is meant to be very thin across the entire edge of your phone, so it feels like you're not even using a case. Now, this is a little bit thicker than the phone itself, but that's no big deal. But when it comes to the camera protection, that's kind of one of the reasons why I got this version, because you do get this metal, let's listen to it, this metal kickstand all the way around the camera that is very nice and protective. I feel like you can really set your phone down pretty much anywhere and you don't have to worry about it. Now, with the other version, the non-kickstand version, it's probably just going to look like this, so you're not going to get too much protection. I'm sure it'll be a little bit raised up over the edge of the camera bumps, but either way, you're not going to get as much protection as you would with this camera ring right here. So the camera ring kickstand. So I think this is a really good way to go about doing this case. You get the benefits of having both the kickstand and that extra camera protection. And speaking of the kickstand, let's go ahead and test that out real quick. Let me lock my phone right there. So you can sit here and really, kind of step around the phone. If you're tapping it, you're watching your videos, whatever you're doing, you can sit here, play a game, and it's not going to fall down. And this does have a really nice hinge, so you can go all the way down to this position right here, or you can have it even all the way up in this position there. So you do have some versatility, and they do claim that you can stand it on its back like this, but I've noticed that can only be if the kickstand is vertical. If it's like this, your phone's going to fall down. So that is something to note. If you are somebody who's going to use the case like this, you may want to just keep it completely perpendicular to the case when you're opening it up and using the case vertically. That way your phone won't fall down, and you can sit here and kind of tap it around, and let's see how much it'll take to get that to fall. So you got to really kind of tap it for it to fall down. But if this is, like I said, perpendicular to the case, it shouldn't be too much of an issue. So nice kickstand on there. Another thing I do kind of wish is if they had just a little bit of a nail divot or something right there, because this is kind of a little bit difficult to get off. But I do appreciate that having the magnet right there, because when it's locked in, it's not going to come out, it's not going to rattle or anything like that. So let's go ahead and test the MagSafe on this. Now, I remember from last year, Torras had really good MagSafe on their MagSafe Slim case. So let's go ahead and start off with the Apple MagSafe battery pack, and we'll see how that is. There we go. We get our MagSafe animation right there. And this is one of those cases where you do not have to worry about your accessory sliding off, because this is on there. You've got great magnets on the Torras MagSafe Slim, and usually on these plasticky type of cases, these leather material wallets, they slide up and down all around if the MagSafe is not great. But on this one, like I said, sit here and try to put it into your pocket, pretend like you're, putting it in your pocket or whatever, it's not coming off. So let's go ahead and bring over our Apple MagSafe battery pack. Now, my battery pack is dead, unfortunately, so it will not show a MagSafe animation. It won't charge, but you will be able to see this MagSafe strength onto there, right there. And you can sit here, shake this all the way around from either the case or the MagSafe battery pack itself, and it's not gonna come off. So excellent MagSafe on here. You really gotta kind of force the battery pack off for it to come off. Now, if you guys can see, it did leave a little bit of markings on there, and that just kind of goes back to that fingerprint element on the back of the case or your MagSafe ring. If that's something that bothers you, this may not be the case for you. Now, you can always just give it a little wipe down. Let me do that right here behind the camera real quick, and it pretty much goes away. You can still kind of see it. I didn't really wipe it down too well, but that's something to note. I know a lot of my viewers, they don't like fingerprints or any markings on the back of their case, so that's definitely something to note about that. Now, moving along just to the Anker 623, let's go ahead and put our case onto here, and we'll turn it. You can sit here, turn this 360 degrees with absolutely no issues. You can use it in your Uber driver status like this, and have it on your car mount, be clicking away at your navigation system or your music, whatever, no issues at all. Or you can have it horizontally, however you want, and watch your videos, or if you have it in the car like this, whatever you're doing, this will not come off of your car mount. And we can obviously sit here and pick up our MagSafe base with it. Like I said, really good magnets on there. And finally, last little test. Let's see how hard we have to shake it for it to come off. I have to shake it really hard for this to come off. Now, let's just listen to this connection right here. Very strong connection. You can sit here and just kind of bounce it around. I don't want to break anything, but you can bounce it around and it will not come off. So now, do I recommend the Torras MagSafe Slim? Now, the price of it normally is about $38, $39, which a lot of the time on Amazon, you can find it on sale. And I'll be sure to leave links down in the description below for that. But you can get it sometimes for like $26 to $29 as well, instead of that $38, $39. So that is a good deal for this case. I just wish that it would improve on those corners and those gaps right there, because I cannot confidently say that if I was to drop this phone, it wouldn't from the shock bounce out of the case, or a corner would come out, or whatever the case may be. I cannot be confident with that. And with other great cases out on the market, such as the Thinborn, the Banks Armor Air, Pitaka Maggie Z4, whatever you're getting, they all clip onto the corners really well. They're not going to come off if it drops for some reason. Now, it may not protect your phone, but it's not going to at least shoot your phone out of it, or won't come off of it. But this is just a little too easy to get off for my liking. So Torras, if you guys are listening, please fix that. Give us little clips or whatever the case may be on there. And let's get rid of these gaps down here, because they collect a ton of dust. And I'm also afraid that if little particles of dust or whatever the case may be get in there, it will scratch the corners of your phone. I have a feeling that that will happen, especially if you remove the case and put it back on. You got anything in there with these little divots, these air gaps right here, I think it's gonna scratch up the phone. So that is not something that I would like to see on the case. I would really like for Torras to kind of even those out and smooth them down and make it down to, fit around the phone completely, and make it so it's not super easy to just get this off. But other than that, if you're not somebody who's really bothered by that, this is definitely a great case. This was my favorite thin case from last year. This year, it's a top contender. It is really good. I just need those couple of things fixed. But either way, with that being said, this is the Torras MagSafe Slim case with kickstand for the iPhone 15 Pro Max. Let me know what you guys think about this one. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.